And that training is essential because we need the staff within the industry to train on the next group of staff and to follow through with all of that.
Made me really confident and realised that what I was doing was actually on the right track.
People who may not have engaged in traditional learning have found this to be very beneficial.
The days of people going to access training that is not relevant to their needs within their organisation are long gone.
The impact here where I work was that we felt in a quandary as to the learning needs of our workers, and up to that point we'd been sending people out to various colleges to do kind of paperwork training on health and safety and the meaning of care, and suddenly SECAS came along, asked each and every member of staff what did they think they needed, what education they needed to do their job correctly and also to meet the care standards. And it brought the care into us. Everybody was involved, everybody was part of the learning project, and it improved the service to our patients, and it really was very, very beneficial.
I feel the SECAS project supported us with our training in the fact that it wasn't just looking at us as an organisation, it was looking at staff members individually. Yeah. They have been able to meet us as an organisation, but certainly as our residents' needs are changing, people are being placed with much more complex needs. Our staff's training needs have been able to be developed around that. They've been able to say that they need something very individual, something yeah, and that's been really good.
Yeah, from my point of view as a manager, you know, supervising, we've used the TNA packs in the supervision, and it's enabled the staff to take ownership of what they feel that, you know, that they require as individuals, and also been able to train them at different levels. Yeah, because we've had staff, you know, that have been here years that need refreshing on things, or with the residents' needs changing, you know, individual houses have needed it, and like you say, we've been able to access that quite freely, which has been...
Yeah, it's been really good.
One of the many solutions the employers have worked out for themselves is a way of ensuring that their more experienced staff maximise their current knowledge. They've developed an experienced employee route to NVQ accreditation for their carers.
My name's Kelly. I've worked at Littlehaven for nearly 4.5 years now. I'm a carer, and I've just recently completed the SECAS route to my NVQ2.
Kelly was one of the carers on the SECAS project who joined the NVQ programme commissioned from the Quinn Centre. So Glynis, give us an overview of your training.
The training has been about a National Vocational Qualification, an NVQ in health and social care. That normally takes about 6 months to achieve, but we've been able to deliver that in 3 months by using a variety of methods really that are different from the usual.
Now, lots of people would be very excited by the idea that you can speed up the whole process, but it isn't just about time, is it?
No, it's not. It is about enabling us to prove that the candidate has the knowledge and skills, and that their performance in the workplace is competent to meet the standards.
And am I right in thinking that what it also does is it offers people who may feel very nervous about the whole idea of formal qualifications perhaps a more confidence-building experience about gaining them?
It certainly breaks down the barriers that there are to going back into learning if you've been out of learning for a long time. And the fact that it's all done in the person's workplace and that their supervisor is very heavily involved. And it means that my organisation is just enabling the performance, really, the progress.
So key to the success of all of this is the involvement of the supervisor?
Yes, it is, and we've undertaken training with the supervisor to make sure that they understand what their role is within the programme.
Now, by delivering it in the workplace, does this mean that there's a certain amount of flexibility, that you can look at the needs of a particular organisation, particular employees?
Yes, I mean, we've used the SECAS skills analysis and passport as the basis for their underpinning knowledge, the knowledge that they need to have. And this has been proved by the supervisor. The supervisor has said, yes, the person does know this, and they do know that. And that has meant that there's less paperwork to produce, and so there's a thinner portfolio at the end.
And overall, what do you think the effect of this form of training is?
I think it's been very exciting for everyone involved, for us as an educational provider to look at it with a different way, for the supervisor to have an important role in working with their carers, making sure that it meets the needs of the individual care provider, because they may be that, for example, they may have more service users with dementia, and so it may mean that the carers need more training in that area, and that can be done as a separate entity.
Do you think it changes attitudes towards qualifications?
I think so, yeah. Well, I hope so, definitely. I hope that the learners will then be keen to go on and learn more and perhaps do other MVQ units or other training with their newfound confidence. And that certainly, hopefully, the service user will notice the difference too.
And I guess it encourages supervisors to really understand the whole idea of career progression.
Yes, because they can then recognise where their carers are moving forwards, and hopefully when there are positions then that become available in a more senior position, they stand a better chance of gaining that position.
Now, I know that you've got considerable experience in many different ways of delivering education, if you like. You've worked in the FE sector, for example, but you're very excited by this.
Yes, because we should never rest on our laurels in education. We should never think that we've got it all the right way. We need to actually look at various ways to do it, and I think this is exciting because it involves everybody, and the carer can learn a lot from this and take it forward.
And what have you learned?
I've learnt that there's more than one way to undertake an MVQ, and it's important that we can have a hands-on or hands-off approach, whatever is as important for the carer.
Thanks very much indeed.
Thank you.